See, the certain placements of planet moon in Vedic astrology are going to be a bit tricky, and moon placement in the 6th house is going to be one of that placement. Hello my dear friends, welcome back. Welcome to your channel Cooking Astrology, and let's continue our long journey, our series of planets through Navamsa Chart in Vedic astrology. And in this particular video, let's try to decode planet moon placement in the 6th house of your D-9 chart, and what are going to be the results, positive, negative, and even certain karmic results that are associated with this moon placement. Let's try to understand in this video. First of all, before diving into the results of moon, let's try to decode 6th house first of all. See, the 6th house of the D9 chart is the representation of the spiritual progression. Now, spiritual progression that is going to be happening into your life after any sort of relationship that is coming. It may be 1 month, 1 year, or a 2-year long relationship, even sometime after marriage also. So what kind of a spiritual progression in your life is first of all seen through this house. If you want to understand whether other person have the capacity to contribute something spiritually into my life or not, that part is connected with that house. This is also the house which represents the bondage. Bondage is the bandhan. There are certain karmas in Vedic astrology which are totally fixed. Now, it's not necessary bondage is only going to be with your loved ones or maybe with your spouse or life partner. Bondage may be of any time. Bondage with your career, bondage with one organization where you are working for past 5-7 years, bondage with some business. Maybe you are going to inherit the family business, that is also going to become the bondage. So any sort of bondage in your life is seen through 6th house. Bandhan, in Hindi we call it as a bandhan. Bandhan simply means bondage. Now I am not saying the bondage is only coming from partner, from any aspect of the life. So bondages are seen through the 6th house. If you want to understand which area is going to create bondage, just check the moon placement in the D1 chart, like where the zodiac sign of Cancer is there. Or like for different ascendants, the sign of Cancer sometime is going to be in the 5th house. So children are going to create bondage. 4th house, family, real estate, sometime property can also create bondage. So you are going to stay up there. So that is the house of bondage. This is also the house which represents the health complications or the disease aspect, which is actually present inside your spouse and life partner, or which she or he is going to inherit after getting married with you. Because sometime, depending over the planetary combinations of both male and female chart combined together, your chart also have the capacity to contribute negatively towards the health aspect of your wife or your husband actually. You see certain relationships where one is suffering because of other person suffering, specifically health wise. This is that house which is responsible for that part. If the cluster of planets, maximum planets, if they are posited in the 6th and 12th axis, or if this is becoming a dominating axis in the Navamsa chart, then this also represents some karmic connections which are actually going to be present up there, and these are fixed connections actually. Okay, now first of all, whenever the moon enter into the 6th house, this is actually going to become the extreme end kind of a placement. Now let's try to understand what is extreme end. Either this moon going to be at this level, or this moon is going to operate at this level. In between, moon will not stay, because moon is the planet which represents, first of all, governs your mental emotions. So emotionally, first of all, you are going to be at here or you are going to be at there. Intellectual wise, intelligence wise, your mental capacity is going to be at here or that is going to be there, because moon in the 6th house have the capacity to create a lot of traumatic experiences, irrespective of its conjunction, irrespective of its dignity. Because moon in the 6th house, and that is your karma which you need to play out in this present life. And specifically, moon mature at the age of 24 in Vedic astrology. Before the maturity age of 24, you are going to have a totally different life. There are highly likely possibilities with this moon placement with certain conjunction and aspect. You are going to be born and brought up into very traumatic kind of a household where mother side, father side, you have the capacity to receive lot of emotional turmoil. And because of that emotional turmoil, then they have the capacity to later on reflect into your own interpersonal relationships as well. Sometimes the severity of this moon is going to be at that level where individuals, they don't want to entertain any new relationship in their life. Have you seen certain individuals with just one failure or one setback in the relationship, they have the capacity to become extremely spiritual. Like, I'm no longer interested into the marriage relationships. No, I'm not meant for that. I'm only meant for the spirituality. This is that kind of eyes. Because moon have the capacity to actually connect with the deeper realm of the spirituality. If you want to understand this placement from the higher perspective, just try to think like that. Moon have already experienced these kind of things. This is the simplest explanation. Like, moon knows each and everything, because I told you this house is going to create bondages, bandhan with materialistic objects also. Maybe you are having a good property at good location, you are having your automobile, you are having maybe your parents, your siblings. So that bondage, and moon will try its hard to break out of all the bondages. And you see, whenever the first bondage is going to break, moon is going to experience deep sorrow. And that is the reason actually these people naturally incline towards the spirituality. Even in the much later stages, if suppose they are going to get married, so that is not going to be for love reasons. That is only going to be for certain spiritual reasons. And I'm not saying that if you are married, it become very difficult for you to progress spiritually. I'm not saying this word here. But these individuals are marrying with someone not for love respect. That is only for experiencing the higher essence of the spirituality. And that is where these sometime, depending over your dasha also, mahadasha also, complexities of the planetary alignments, sometimes these individuals tend to experience these things in much early stages. As I told you, 24 is the maturity age of planet moon. Sometimes this might going to delay up till the age of 32, 36 and 38 also. Now, here I'm not saying with this moon placement it become very difficult for you to experience a good relationship, but experiencing a spiritual relationship is going to be a possibility. Secondly, if this moon is afflicted. Now, affliction in the Navamsa chart is a bit different. Affliction simply mean if moon is debilitated in the sign of Scorpio, or moon is with Saturn, Shani, moon with any other debilitated planet, moon specifically in the sign of Aquarius, or moon is in conjunction with the Rahu and Ketu axis. Now, then this is going to create some sort of ancestral curses also. For that, without analyzing the D-9 chart, it become very difficult to say that part. But any sort of complications in the progeny, like obtaining the children, that is going to become very, very, very tough. Trial after trial after trial after trial. And that is where you will see the karma is getting connected between you and the children also. Sometime depending over your kids chart also. Suppose you are a person who is having kids with this moon placement, okay. Now, whatever the karmic connection between you and your parents are going to be the same connection your kids are going to fulfill with you. It's just a course of time. Right now you will not be able to see that part, but moon is going to create that severe end of karma. Moon is the single most planet, I will tell you, in Vedic astrology that have the capacity to create maximum bondages. And bondages have the capacity then to bring a lot of traumatic experiences, sufferings into your life. Bondages will never ever going to become a permanent thing. The reason why moon is exalted in Taurus, Taurus is not only the house which represents food or financial security, it represents a family. So that bondages, moon tend to feel bonded whenever the moon is in the sign of Taurus, because moon is surrounded with many things. And whenever moon is going in the 6th house of Navamsa chart, the biggest lesson this moon need to learn how to get out of that sort of bondages. And that is their major challenge. And as I told you, some people experience it early, some people experience in the later stages, but they need to go through that part. This is to be make it more simpler. Just try to understand it from the transformation perspective. Like certain major transformations are happening into my life, or I'm no longer going to be the same person which I'm going to be actually thinking I'm going to become. So that major transformations, you will see this moon placement. Apart from this thing, as I told you, the health and disease aspect, or your partner is going to receive certain health complications. Now for that we need to check Mars also. It's not solely dependent over moon, but this moon also sometimes have the capacity to create the age difference much higher. I'm not saying only from the marriage perspective, but you are going to attract that kind of energies in your life where the age difference is going to be way more higher. Have you seen certain couples at the age of women at 25 and male at 50? So moon is going to create that karmic connections also, because these people, they tend to settle only with that kind of energy from where the spiritual aspect is getting fulfilled, or where the other person have also experienced the same kind of things. Only then other half is going to understand you into the much better way, and that is where moon is looking or finding that kind of things. Moon is also in the 6th house, have the capacity to take you into the extreme end of secludedness also, loneliness also, where moon tend to question a lot of things regarding the purpose, like what is the direction, why I'm there, is this necessary to take birth again and again, and where that is where the moon, and I told you 12th house of the Navamsha chart, 12th house here going to play a very important role. If for example in the 12th house Jupiter is up there, or maybe Jupiter with Venus up there, and this is becoming a complete benefic axis, there is no malefic association, then you have the capacity to actually seek or to take enlightenment in this present life. But if malefics are going to go up there, then this is going to create congestion, and that is where materialistic demands, financial security, financial stability is going to become more challenging. And that is where after attaining certain level of financial security in your life, only with this placement then you have the capacity to go towards the extreme end of spirituality. So this is quite a tricky placement, okay? I hope but you have gained some deep insights with regards to moon placement in this video with me. If you are having any queries, any consultations, you can feel free to contact me at my email ID, and I will try my best to get back to you as soon as possible. Also, you have gained even a small insights, you can please send me super thanks also. Any contribution from your side will eventually help me to make more such interesting and wonderful videos over the Vedic astrology. You can also make sure to subscribe my channel below. Make sure to hit the like button if you really enjoy this video, and follow me on Instagram. Okay, and I'm going to meet you very soon in the next video. Till then, bye bye and Hare Krishna.